take one. Let's go. One take.
Take one.
One take. Let's go.
Oh, that's pressure.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. I got my dog, DJ Betancis. I try my best. We're out here at the Collective in Austin, Texas. And because you guys loved our last video of our full evaluation of plantar fasciitis, we're back here again, showing you guys a couple movements that you guys can implement into your workout routine, maybe even in your home routine, whether it's some strengthening or if it's some mobility, some stretching stuff. But DJ's gonna take us through some movements. We're gonna get right into the video, baby. Let's go.
Let's get it. Hey, no textbook, no cookie cutter over here. We're gonna tailor this specifically to Matt. All right, so we're gonna start our first movement. It's gonna be front loaded foot and anterior chain loading, which is pretty much lacked with a long distance runner. So we're gonna put a lot of stretch, a lot of load through the front aspect of that plantar fascia and foot. First movement, like we talked about, front loading that foot and that anterior chain of his that he doesn't do. Bro, you're killing the isometrics, right? Fair. And that's pretty much doing it in a position where you're already working. Whereas we want to get so used to putting that on stretch, correct? So if I set you up heel elevated right here, your isometrics consist of this, right? A lot of this, push into that toe. Whereas we want to get a lot more forward loading lean, right? And you can see, look at these toes right here. They're just pushing into the ground. You're super activated too, right? So if we come back, yes, you're front loading this toe in this anterior aspect, but you're relaxing into it. Right. You're getting comfortable with just that load, trying to flatten this foot towards the ground. Feel that? Yeah. Back in the quad. And it's just repetition right there. This is a great warm-up. Just front loading, into that plantar fascia on stretch, trying to flatten that towards the ground. And we're just working right here.
This is light the quad up, dog.
Lighting the quad up, this anterior chain is exactly what we're talking about, that you don't use too much when you're running long distance. Yet if we get this firing beforehand, it takes a lot of
DJ, is this for time under time? How much, is it reps, is it time?
I'm going for reps, I'm going for activation.
Okay.
So we're just going right over, back and forth. Let's see right there. You can tell he's already fatigued.
I am,
how many
reps
have we done?
I was trying to find out how many I need to do.
Reps. Woo. If I get that firing before a run, it takes so much load off what you already used. Fair. That's that plantar fascia.
Dude, it's been wild, because like now as my plantar has started to go away, even on my other side, bro, I've been feeling a little bit of shin splints on my right side.
Right. We focused a lot on that foot and getting rid of that stretch and those symptoms. Yeah. Right. Now we go back to those mechanics and overusing that anterior chain in the lower leg, limited use of the calf throughout a long distance run, and you just got mad fatigue with that simple activation exercise, bro. So that's exactly what we need to improve on. Second movement, we're just gonna take what we did in this last movement, apply it to a full gait pattern. So we're gonna do full heel to toe striking, going into a little calf raise, pressure through the big toe, getting the full stretch of that plantar fascia, so that can transfer over to activation with this run. What you do running mechanic wise, a lot of long distance running is done here, and you stop here before you're into your next stride, right? You don't get this full toe off with long distance running. Who does that? Sprinters do that. Are you a sprinter? Not a sprinter.
I used to be, big dog.
Used to be. We're gonna exaggerate a gait pattern, go full heel to toe strike. So we're working here, this is full heel to toe. I really wanna emphasize the stretch, one, and that calf activation. So we're gonna go into a heel raise at the top. I want you to pretend you have no 4 other toes, you got 1 big toe.
Run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, I really feel it's my time, think it's...
So last time we actually took care of his left. I see some deficits on his right now, all right? And that just comes down to mechanics, right? You talked about what, shin splints? Yeah. Okay, so we took care of that foot, now we get to that lower leg, and he overuses the anterior chain of his lower leg. Puts a lot of stress, a lot of tension, that's what creates shin splints. Once we get the full extent of that stretch, working that calf more to create that muscle balance, that's what we're working on here, and that's exactly what he lacks.
We all have weaknesses. Focus on your weaknesses, triple down on that shit, and then double down on your strengths as well after. Let's go.
I exposed them. All right, long distance running, what does it require? Strength, endurance, balance, motor control, right? We're putting everything that we did previously together into this one balanced motor control movement. I'm not even gonna explain it. I'm gonna let Matt go to work and we'll talk about this next.
Yeah, what are we setting up right here?
He mentioned weakness of the calf. He mentioned overpronation. He mentioned his plantar fascia. We're talking about lateral knee pain, super common in runners, very incorporated into lack of hip strength, lack of stability from foot all the way up to the hips. We're gonna address it all. Let's get it, we're gonna make them work. Heel elevated. we gonna strengthen that calf of yours. You got this resistance downwards to help you maintain that, as well as get used to that pressure. We're going to single leg RDLs, right? Pressure through the big toe. Our job is not to roll outward, nor get some hip compensation there. Right here, nice, slow and controlled. Pushing up through the big toes on the way up, right? Don't let this heel drop. 1, stay on that big toe. 2, I want you to initiate it from the knee. A lot of people are like, oh, okay, I can hip hinge all day. So shit, once we get that foot involved, get that knee over that foot, pushing up through the big toe. Cool. So keeping that heel up. Look at how he rolls out onto the outside 4 toes. We want that pressure through that big toe. That's full extent of the calf. Definitely working the full extent of that plantar fascia. So look at how he's hip hinging, and he could do that all day because he's got great glute strength, hip stability. I want him to get used to this load of the knee over that foot.
It's the anterior chain again.
I want you to initiate that downfall from the knee. Right? Maintain that. Good. Now we're keep coming with the knee. Keep coming. Yes, sir. Control it back up. Push it through the toes up. Full extension. Keep driving this. Now we're there. Push back up through the toes. Big toe, big toe, big toe.
Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah.
The right calf wasn't even the one that was weak last week, but now it's weak this week. So we gotta balance out my system, dog. My shit ain't right.
How you feel?
Bruh, I feel like my calf is inflated right now. It's like swollen. I felt, the movements were definitely very challenging, and it's things that I have definitely done in the past, but the nuances that you showed me were, made it significantly more challenging, but I think it's exposing the weaknesses I have in the lower body.
All right, well, this is why I always encourage that one-on-one. You can give somebody a program all day, have them do specific exercises, little cues, little details that we fix with those, and that made all the difference, right?
For sure.
So let's talk about that first movement. We're just getting activation through that anterior chain, through that foot, getting used to that load and comfortable with that load, and that just gets the muscles fired up like we used to. So with a warm-up like that, you're aiming for about 2 sets, a good like 20 reps. You're going 4 reps here to get that good activation and warm-up.
Hell yeah.
Blood flow.
And those are the pulses, right? We're pulsing that one.
Correct, back and forth, just getting used to that load, getting comfortable with it. I'd rather have you sore after that already so you have that activation going forward into the next movements than not have it at all. Movement number 2, we went into that heel to toe walks, getting onto that big toe, into that calf raise. A lot of people think when they're doing calf raises all day, they use those outside 4 toes, right? And that's a lot of the lateral calf activation that people all have in over-exercise and overuse. We're trying to get the full extent of that plantar fascia stretch, full extent of that calf that you lack when you're long distance running. So we're just trying to gain that muscle balance, transfer it into a full gait pattern that's only gonna supplement running mechanics and performance.
100%. I think that's something to keep important, guys. Like, a lot of what we're doing here, like these 3 things are just small nuances, and they're things that you guys can add into what you're doing to support running. I think to DJ's point, clearly even for me, it's showing that I've used a lot of the same muscles. So there's muscles that are not being taken care of that when they aren't, they start to have injuries, they start to feel shitty, so then you won't feel as good on your run. So keep that in mind, like incorporate these things into your either home routine or into your actual workout routine.
The last one, we are putting everything together as you saw, right? From plantar fascia, you talk about hip pain, lateral knee pain, all of it is benefiting the chain as a whole. Again, so we have that resisted band pulling downward, making that foot contact, getting used to that positive shin angle, full activation of the calf, all the way to the hips. It's just a straight out burner, right?
That one is no joke. And DJ, talk about the importance of getting the knee into the positive shin angle versus just hinging at the hip.
Right, and I will say this will vary between runner to runner or athlete to athlete. With him, he already overuses his posterior chain. You're super comfortable and stable through those hips. Once I take that out, I isolate that knee, I isolate that foot and ankle, it becomes a whole level of difficulty. So that's just what I'm accentuating with him, to kind of take out that hip, focus more on that, and that's definitely comes with that positive shin angle. I will say for a movement like that, sets and reps are gonna vary per individual. So my advice to you all is to find a baseline to where you can control and you feel comfortable with, equal bilaterally. Once you achieve that, then we're upping either repetitions that you can control for muscular endurance, or we're working sets so you can keep working on that control itself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was probably hitting like 6 to 8 reps because that movement right there is no joke, dog. Keep that in mind. Whatever band, make sure your weight is enough so that that band does not rip you into the face. Safety first. So if you guys are dealing with any foot pain, plantar fasciitis, shin splints, anything that might be an overuse injury, definitely I highly consider get in touch with some local physical therapist in your area. If you're in Austin, Texas, come pop by the Collective and come see DJ. But it's really important that you want to make sure that you take care of these small issues before they turn into a real injury, which then will sideline you from running, which ultimately we don't want for anyone. So if you guys got any value out of this video, smash the like button, and if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel because we're pushing out a ton of running rehab, running content, a bunch of stuff to help you guys on your running journey. Other than that, we will see you all in the next one. Deuces. Peace. Let's go.